Money in the Bank is right around the corner and it's coming up this Saturday, and I'm going to give out my predictions of what I think is going to happen on the show. We start off with the Intercontinental Championship match between Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. I am very excited for this match. This match should be a banger. You know, they're telling the story of Braun Breaker being the up-and-coming rising star, being the guy that's uncontrollable, that just no one can beat him, no one can stop him, just breaking everyone that stands in his way, stopping anyone that gets in his way. You got Sami, the guy that constantly gets back up no matter who they toss him, the guy that never gives up. This has been great. I really love what they've been doing. I'm very shocked that they went with this match very early on because I assumed that they was going to still play up the story of Sheamus and Ludwig and Braun Breaker, them three all fighting for the title, fighting for an opportunity. Now, this is very interesting because you could just pull the trigger. Pull the trigger on Braun Breaker. He has all the momentum. He's red hot. The crowd is over with him. You could just pull the trigger here and have him dethrone Sami Zayn, or you could have it, or you could wait on it until the next pay-per-view. But this is very tricky here because people have been wanting Sami Zayn to lose that Intercontinental Championship since he won. A lot of people didn't even want him to win because people still wanted Chad Gable to win. But I think it's time. I think it's time, and I love Sami Zayn. I actually enjoyed his reign. I didn't mind him being Intercontinental champion, but I think it's time. I think it's time to give it to Braun Breaker, have, you know, the up-and-coming rising star be the new champion, have him have a long reign. The only way I see Braun Breaker losing is through interference, and then they could do like a fatal four-way at SummerSlam if they want to protect Sami, because you could do like a fatal four-way between Sheamus, Ludwig, Braun, and Sami, because Ludwig, Kaiser, and Sheamus was in the Intercontinental picture. They all wanted, well, Sheamus mainly wanted an opportunity for the Intercontinental, not more so Ludwig, but Ludwig has issues with Sheamus, so you can just throw Ludwig in there. So you could do that. But I just kind of feel like there's really no point, because if they do a fatal four-way, we know who's winning it regardless. It will be Braun Breaker at that point. So I think you just pull the trigger here, give it to Braun Breaker, have him have a lengthy title reign to build him as that next dominant star that's going to be propelled in the main event scene the moment he drops that title, kind of similar to Gunther. So I think the only right choice is for Braun Breaker to win. But I really wouldn't be shocked if Sami Zayn retains, but I'm going to go with Braun Breaker. Six-man tag match between Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton versus the Bloodline between Tama Tonga, Solo Sikoa, and Jake Fatu. Now, they have Tonga Loa in the picture as well, teasing a potential 8-man tag, but I don't know if Tonga Loa is going to be in this match, because I don't know who will be the fourth babyface in this situation for Team Cody Rhodes. So I don't know who will be the fourth babyface for that group. So I'm just going to assume it's a 6-man tag between the Bloodline and Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. And I think instead of Tonga Loa being in that position, I think Jake Fatu will be in the position of Tonga Loa. Now, this has been a really good rivalry. I think this needs a stipulation, because this rivalry that they're having is way too heated, way too attention, way too personal for them just to do a regular tag match. They need to do what they did at Backlash. Whether they announce it this upcoming SmackDown, because I am recording this before SmackDown, either this SmackDown they make it a stipulation, or during the match, Nick Aldis does what he did at Backlash. They start brawling immediately, and then he just makes it a street fight, because this feud is way too personal, way too intense for this to just be a regular tag match. They need to make this a street fight, especially if you want to put Bloodline over and put them as this new dangerous faction. Make them have weapons. Have Jake Fatu be this animal that he's presented to be. Have him be the Samoan werewolf that he's supposed to be. Have him be that. I think the obvious choice has to be the Bloodline. You have to have the Bloodline win. It makes no sense for the babyface to do it. The babyfaces, Cody Rhodes, KO, Randy Orton, they don't need the win. They're fine. None of them are at jeopardy of being buried or anything. They don't need this victory. You have to have the Bloodline win. You're building them as this next faction. We know eventually Roman Reigns is eventually going to confront this new Bloodline eventually. So you have to build them up as this dominant, dangerous faction. And it's Jake Fatu. It is Jake Fatu's first pay-per-view match. There is no way Jake Fatu is losing his first pay-per-view match. It's just no way. He's going to win this match. It only makes sense, especially if you're building up Solo Sikoa as this new leader of the Bloodline as well. It only makes sense for them to take the victory here. It only makes sense. I have Bloodline 2.0 taking the victory over the babyfaces. Next, we got Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This has been very interesting, because this is not really a feud. This is just more of proving who's the better wrestler, who's the best. And I kind of like the story they're playing here, and they're telling the story of Damian Priest trying to be his own man, trying to prove that he could do it on his own, that he doesn't need help. And Seth Rollins basically calling him out, saying that you only holding the championship because of the Judgment Day, because of your help, and you can't do it on your own. And I love the stipulation that they added of, if Damian Priest ends up winning, Seth Rollins cannot go after the World Heavyweight Championship as long as Damian's champion. But if Damian Priest loses and Seth Rollins wins, he has to leave. Damian Priest has to leave the Judgment Day. This is very interesting. And recently on Monday Night Raw, we saw some tension between Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Finn Balor is calling out Damian Priest, saying that he's the reason why things are crumbling apart in the Judgment Day, that he is changing. They're teasing a potential rivalry, a potential breakup coming up soon. We already know the dissension of Judgment Day is happening, with Liv Morgan in the picture, constantly injecting herself in the Judgment Day. Soon probably will be a member taking over Rhea Ripley's spot. And I think, unfortunately, as much as I like Damian Priest, I think Seth Rollins wins this. I think there's a reason why Seth Rollins came back so early. Now, part of it was because he's healthy and he wanted to come back, but I think part of the reason is also because they want to put the title back on him so Gunther can be the one to dethrone him. Because if you want to build up Gunther as that World Heavyweight Champ, have him face someone like Seth Rollins to give him that credibility. Now, Seth Rollins will be a transitional champion, but Seth Rollins doesn't need another long title reign. He just had it for like almost a year. So he doesn't really need a long time reign, and this elevates Gunther, where him beating Damian Priest, it would still elevate him, but just not as much. So I think they're just having Seth Rollins win this match so he can elevate Gunther. But also, I think this is going to play a story into the Judgment Day. I think Damian Priest will get kicked out of the Judgment Day due to the loss, but I think Finn Balor will interfere. I think the same way Seth Rollins has been saying that he only wins through interference, I think Seth Rollins will win through the interference of Damian Priest. I think they're going to protect Damian Priest. I think Damian Priest will be close to winning the match. Finn Balor comes out, costs him the match, potentially with Liv Morgan as well. Damian gets distracted. Seth Rollins takes advantage and picks up the victory. After this, I'm assuming Damian Priest will become a huge babyface with Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam. Rhea Ripley makes a return, and I think it'll be Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley fighting off the Judgment Day between Finn Balor, JD, Liv Morgan, and Dominic Mysterio. That's how I see it playing out. You guys let me know. But I think Seth Rollins will get his World Heavyweight Championship back to face Gunther, to elevate Gunther. Unfortunately, I see Damian Priest losing. I would love for Damian Priest to hold it longer because I like him as champion, but I think it only makes sense for Damian Priest to lose the championship, especially with this stipulation. So I have Seth Rollins becoming your new World Heavyweight Champion. Now we got the women's ladder match between Io Sky, Lara Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Chelsea Green, Naomi, and Zoe Stark. This is very interesting. Looking at the card, I think we all know it's really only two people that deserve to win this. Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton. Naomi, she's a main eventer. She doesn't need the Money in the Bank to get a title opportunity. Lara Valkyria is another interesting choice, but I think on Monday Night Raw, I don't see her cashing on Liv Morgan. We know that Liv Morgan is going to face Rhea Ripley soon, so I don't see her winning it. I don't see a reason why someone like Io Sky should go back to back. She's already in the main event scene, so she don't need it. And Zoe Stark, she's just not hyped up and over enough to really get it. So it's really between Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green. This is very interesting. My heart is telling me Chelsea Green, but my brain is telling me Tiffany Stratton. Now, part of me is swaying away from Tiffany Stratton only because her friendship with Nia Jax. Because if you're going to have Tiffany Stratton win, it kind of makes no sense for her to have this friendship with Nia Jax with them being buddy-buddy. So I am going to go with Chelsea Green here. I'm going to go with Chelsea Green, and I think Chelsea Green is the perfect person for that Money in the Bank briefcase. Her being this weaselly, slimy, scary heel, being this Karen type heel, I think is perfect for the Money in the Bank briefcase. Now, Tiffany Stratton is just as good, and she's perfect as well. You can have her have a Tiffany Stratton, like Barbie type briefcase. I think she'd be perfect for it as well. But Tiffany Stratton is already close to the main event scene where I don't think she needs it. We know Tiffany Stratton is going to be a main event. We already know that. Chelsea Green is someone that needs Money in the Bank to be a main eventer. I don't see a way where Chelsea Green will be a main eventer without Money in the Bank. Where Tiffany Stratton, we can kind of already see that she's going to be in the main event regardless. Plus, with her friendship with Nia Jax, I think it makes more sense for her to not win it, because what's the point of having her friendship unless you're just going to break them up very soon, because she's not cashing in on nobody on Raw. So it really only leaves SmackDown between Nia Jax and Bayley, depending on who's ever champion by that time. And I think Chelsea Green makes the perfect sense. So I'm going with Chelsea Green, but my brain is telling me Tiffany Stratton, but I think Chelsea Green should be the one that wins, be your new Miss Money in the Bank. Now, I'm assuming this is going to be the main event, the men's ladder match between LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, Jey Uso, and Santos Escobar. This is very interesting. I thought long and hard about this, but I'm going to get rid of some of the names out the way. Andrade, we all know Andrade is not winning, unfortunately, but he's not winning. Chad Gable, I consider Chad Gable because I do think someone on the Raw side will win, because I think they're going to do one for SmackDown, one on Raw. But the problem with Chad Gable is that he's involved in the Wyatt 6 storyline, so I don't see a reason why you would put Money in the Bank on him if he's involved with the Wyatt 6. Next, we have Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes will be interesting, but I think it's a little too soon for him. And plus, the way they're building him up, they haven't built him up to be that credible as an opponent yet. Now, and plus, I don't see him dethroning Cody Rhodes or Gunther either way, even with a Money in the Bank. So I think he's out as well, even though he's a potential winner as well. Then this leaves LA Knight. Now, LA Knight is someone that I actually consider winning, but my only thing is if he wins, it only makes sense for him to cash in on Logan Paul and just do like a RVD type style cash in. But the problem with that is, why would they have him win when he's already in a feud with him, when they could just have him face Logan Paul at SummerSlam without the Money in the Bank briefcase? So I kind of cross them out as well. So the only two people that I think make sense is Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso. Now, this is very interesting because you can make a case for either one, but I think Jey Uso has the better argument. Now, Drew McIntyre, he's busy with CM Punk. I see no reason for him to win if he's going to be involved with CM Punk, especially if he wins, because the only way I see him winning is if he gets screwed over by CM Punk later in the show, just for CM Punk to get his necklace back from Drew McIntyre that Drew McIntyre took from CM Punk. But my issue with that is, why have him win just to progress a storyline when you could just have him do the same thing but during the match? You could have the same outcome with CM Punk screwing Drew McIntyre, but to have him screw him during the match instead of after. And then you could just have him take the necklace back by then during the match. I think Jey Uso is the perfect opponent. You could develop a story, but you could also have him eventually become world champion later on as well. Now, I do think they're going to use Jey Uso as part of a story, because in my opinion, I don't think he's going to cash in on Gunther or Seth Rollins. I think he would cash in on Cody Rhodes in an RVD type style, not exactly, but in a style where he's just going to be more of a friend to friend, see who's better, that type of thing. But I think the bloodline will interfere, and that's how you get Jey Uso back feuding with the bloodline. I think Jey Uso will be your new Mr. Money in the Bank. I can't wait. I know that's going to go crazy, especially because they may end up doing a Yeet in the Bank briefcase. I think that would be very fun. But you guys let me know what you guys thought. This is going to be a very great pay-per-view. I can already see how this pay-per-view is going to be amazing. I'm very excited for this pay-per-view. I think this is going to be a really good pay-per-view. But you guys, let me know what you guys thought. Let me know what your predictions below. Let me know what you guys think of this upcoming pay-per-view of Money in the Bank. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, that's it.